Make sure to subscribe to our channel, join our Discord, and also follow us on Instagram so you always have the support that you need to really enhance your account and get yourself to the next level. Also, if you stick around until the end of the video, I'm going to show you how you can save a lot of money when you make in-game purchases by getting some amazing cashbacks each time you purchase anything. Hello everyone and welcome to another video of the Sky channel. So in this video, I'm going to be giving you a little bit of some guidelines on how to spend money in the game. So even though I was mostly free to play for like 2 to 3 years and only started spending recently, I have been giving advice to some of our big spenders on how they should spend. So perhaps some of these guidelines might be helpful for you as well, because a lot of times I get asked questions by people in my own alliance on if they should purchase certain ants or insects, and many times the answer isn't exactly what they were expecting. And I'll start with some advice on where you probably should spend if you are a light spender. Remember the event that happens every other week on non-event days, where you need to spend any amount each day for 5 days to get a bunch of different prizes. And the last prize is actually one of the hard branches. And as you can imagine, I have 12 of them, and those are not coming from events, because buying hard branches from events, as you'll notice soon, is not a very good return on investment. So these were all gotten from those events. So $50 of spending got me 10 hard branches, technically for free, because the $50 was spent buying other things. Now, when it comes to what you should buy on each of those 5 days to get you that award, here's my recommendation. First of all, get the $1 Warzone exclusive supply that gives you a 50% increase in strongest Warzone points. Even in the late game, the rewards that you get from getting 9 shells are extremely valuable, and if you can get 9 shells cheaper, then it's definitely worth it. And this is a 7-day thing. You spend $1 and it runs throughout 7 days. Definitely something you should get in one of those 5 days. The other 4 days, I recommend going into the limited time offer shop and getting the weekly special, which gives you 50 minor cell nuclei and 3 big cell nuclei. So that is a definite must. You definitely need to get this as well. It gives you an amazing deal and it's one worth taking. So that covers 2 of the 5 days. In the remaining 3 days, you can get one of these packs from the daily special $1 packs that are available. Like today, there's 200 gem mediums for $1. Tomorrow, which is the insect day, would be giving me a 1-star orange insect. Ideally, you want to organize your week in such a way that you are getting the germ mediums, the insect, and perhaps the cell items, or if you prefer, you can go with the fungi items. Try not to get this $1 pack from here on the special ant day. I think that's not a very good return on investment. And I also try not to get it on evolution day, because that also gives you something that I don't think is the best return on investment. So you do have to time it out accordingly, right? If you get this on the insect day, then you're not going to be able to get the insect because it's only about spending once on that particular day. So that's something that I do recommend everyone to get, because then you can use these hard branches to get yourself one of these orange skins, which is cool to have. Or of course, you can use it to get the reform essences, and that might be the best way to use it because reform essences are extremely expensive. Now, the other place that I spend is that I might get the essentials, but not from here. On certain weeks, the VIP store has a third tab which actually gives essentials at a much cheaper rate. For example, they might give me 750 essentials for $10. That, in my opinion, is a good price to get essentials, right? The normal price is $10 for 500. If you're ever getting something better than that, that's generally a good deal, and that's something that might be worth purchasing. So if you see essentials at any price cheaper than 500 for $10, might be worth getting it if you're investing in leveling up your insect, as these are fairly hard to get. Outside of that, let's talk events, because that's where I like to purchase stuff, and that's where a lot of big spenders purchase a lot of things, and they have certain questions on what to get as well sometimes. And my recommendation goes like this. When it comes to event spending, your highest priority should be getting the insect of your particular class, and always get it the moment it is released. The more you delay it, the less useful it gets, and I'll explain why that is the case. If you understand the way the event cycles work, every few months or even every few weeks, a newer generation insect comes out, which means that the insect that just got released today is going to be part of the meta for the next few months. But after that, the new insect will become the meta, so this particular insect is no longer going to be the meta. If you buy it the moment it comes out, you will have the meta insect for 3 months, let's say. But if you buy it a month after it came out, you'll have the meta insect for 2 months, after which it's going to become weaker than another insect that's going to be released. If you buy it after 2 months of it being released, you're going to have the meta insect for 1 month before the new generation comes out and your insect is no longer part of the meta. Think of it like the iPhones. Every year you get a new iPhone, and when you purchase the iPhone close to the time when the new iPhone is coming out, it's only going to be new for the next few days, and then there's going to be the iPhone 17 that comes out, and your iPhone is now going to be an older model. And immediately the value of the iPhone that you bought is going to drop. So the best time to buy the iPhone is right when it comes out. The best time to buy insects is right when they come out as well. And the same applies to ants. If you want to juice each of the insects and ants for the maximum amount of time, buy them immediately when they come out. And if we're talking about buying ants and you do have the funding, you can get 3 of them on the first event and then just stop. Because after 7 star, you need to invest double the amount to get it to 8 star, which is not going to be that helpful because by the time you get it to 8 star, perhaps a few weeks after that, there might be another ant that replaces it. So best to stop at 7 star because that's a cheap way to get the maximum out of it at the time when it is currently meta, and then switch to a different one when the new meta comes out. Hard branches, $300 for 10. I would not do that. That's not a good return on investment. I understand reform essences are hard to get, but you can also purchase them directly from certain events, and that might be cheaper than getting these hard branches. So I don't recommend actually purchasing these. I also don't recommend purchasing anthill skins or march skins. Sure, they look pretty, and of course it's always cool to have a horned red star outside your hill, but when it comes to the ROI, that's not a very good investment. So not worth the purchase. Now, if you're looking at the screen right now, you'll notice that there's an emerald jewel ant, which has been out for a very, very long time. And then there's also this carrier ant, which has also been out for a very long time. So at this particular time, I would not recommend anyone getting the emerald jewel ant, even if you have 0 of them, or this other ant, because sooner or later, they're going to be discounted ants that you can get much cheaper. And if you haven't purchased them already, you probably didn't really need them. Talking about the dead leaf mantis that's also available for 6,000 for this event, I'd say absolutely no. Why? Because if you go to the gallery, you'll notice something very interesting. There is this guardian insect out already, which is Guardian Synergy 3. And dead leaf mantis is Shooter Synergy 2. Do you know what that means? That means that it's very possible that within 1 week, there's going to be a Shooter Synergy 3 that's going to be out, making your dead leaf mantis completely useless other than as a helper. So why would you want to purchase an insect that's literally only going to be useful for 1 week? And of course, imagine the investment that you're going to make that insect 11 star and then level it up, and then 1 week later you'll need to do the exact same thing when the Shooter Synergy 3 comes out. So definitely do not buy the dead leaf mantis on this event when it is obvious that the new generation of insects is coming out. The right time to buy it would have been when it just came out, and that's exactly when I bought my dead leaf mantis, right upon release, not waiting for a single event to follow. Okay, so here are the guidelines. New insects are generally better investments than new ants, because you only need 1 new insect and that's about it. But when it comes to ants, you need 3 copies to get it to 7 star, 6 copies to get it to 8 star, and that is 3 to 6 times more expensive than just getting the insect. Ideally, you can just focus on getting the insect of your particular class. You do not need to invest in insects of other classes, unless of course you are strong enough and have all of the insects at a high enough level that you want to have the best insect of each class, because they're going to be like level 80 anyway. So at that point, sure, might as well. Ants, get 3 of them if you have the budget to do so, and ideally get them in the first event. I know that's a little bit more costly than getting it over 3 events, but you know what? By the 3rd event where this particular ant is going to be available, it's going to be really close to getting obsolete. So why would you want to spend $300 right before the ant is about to get obsolete? Just spend maybe 1,000 right now and get 3 copies instead of, spending 300 and get it to 7 star right before it becomes obsolete. Anthill skins and march skins, not the best investment. Totally up to you though, because some people have enough money to get them and some people actually think that they're very beautiful. And honestly, I do think that the horned red star is pretty cool. Hard branches, not the best investment either. Again, up to you, because if you haven't gotten the combat speed, perhaps you do need the reform essences. This is not a good investment. You can get reform essences cheaper, but if you really want to get the combat speed as fast as possible, sure. Okay, so that covers a little bit of what I wanted to talk about. The other thing is that if you are a big enough spender, one thing that you want to try to get is 50 points every 2 weeks, because that's going to give you 100 of these big cell nuclei, or perhaps you're going to use it on the premium mutated enzyme, and also 100 of the small ones, which is obviously a good deal. So a big enough spender would want to get 50 points, as that gives primarily the 100 big cell nuclei or the germs item, which is hard to get. So try to get 50 points if you can. Another thing that you could invest in if you spend enough would be the Special Ant growth supply, but not this one, rather the one that comes with season eggs. Now that stops being available on the last 7 days of the island because, well, the island is about to end and they cannot commit to giving you a season egg after the island ends. But if you are still in the island, this might be worth getting. So I believe it might be $10 instead of $5. And of course, the insect growth plan is always a decent investment, though I haven't really been getting it for a long time because I am focusing on just upgrading the levels of my insect rather than getting more stars on any of them, because I'm focusing on one. Now there's a lot of other places to spend that I haven't really explored that much. I know a lot of big spenders use the light contract and they can get a bunch of exotic shells, which is nice to have as well. You can also decide to purchase the $15 pack, which gives you 5 exotic shells if that's what you're looking for, like starring up your ants, and that's a good deal as well. One more thing, if you decide to use Apptoid, you can save 10 to 35% on your in-game purchases as well. And some of our big whales do that, and they save a lot of money and get things much cheaper. So that's also a good thing to think about if you have the capability of switching to Apptoid, because the overall benefit that you can get is really high, right? As opposed to somebody who's just spending directly. You can save a lot more money if you are doing it using my promo code on Apptoid.
The steps are quite simple. All you need to do is follow the video that I'm linking to this video, and you can also click that button that's going to appear at the top right of your screen to go to that video. The latest promo code is going to be in the name of that video, so you will know which promo code to use to get these amazing bonuses. And as the promo code changes, I'll update the title of that video. Feel free to check it out. If you have any questions, you can join our Discord and I can guide you through the process as well.
So that's a little bit of a summary on where I think spending is good. There's a lot of things I didn't cover in this video because it just didn't come to my mind. If you have more questions, use the comment section below and ask them, and I'll do my best to answer them based on my knowledge, and I might ask my friends and other Alliance members for their inputs as well. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you in the next one.